It's not only one of the best, probably the best in the whole world. The Americans, the Europeans, and all the developed countries are now looking to our private sector for guidance. That is how the private sector is going. All the IT companies are going by 40 to 50%. There are certain pharmaceutical companies which grows by 120%. But what is the record of government control for this? Very poor. I hope the government will be able to compete with the private sector so that the growth rate can reach up to 10%. Now what I am driving at is that in spite of all these developments, still we have 26% of poverty in our country, those who are living below poverty line. If you want to remove illiteracy and poverty from this country, the growth rate must cross 10%, double digit. In order to cross 10%, all of us have to touch, all the states have to touch, both private sector as well as public sector have to touch, both the union government and the state government should compete with each other. Once this happens, you know, India's economy is growing, and in 2007, for the first time, our GDP crossed $1 trillion. We became a 1 trillion economy, which means that India is the fifth largest economy in the world. First comes US, then it is China, third Japan, fourth Germany, and fifth is India. If we go on with this 9 to 10% growth, by 2012, we may double the GDP. It can become $2 trillion. Automatically, the per capita income will be doubled. It means slowly poverty will settle and illiteracy also can be settled. These are certain things that the government has to perform and we have to cooperate. And I also mentioned in my speech that the government should see that the cost of education should be brought down. I don't know how many of you have gone through this point. At present, you know, the government is controlling the fees, the admission norms, how many students should study in each class, and how many should be admitted in masters. In this masters, they will say 18 students, 50 OC, 2 SC, and 1 SC. If it is bachelor, they will say 60, and you will have to go through the reservation system. But with this kind of control, when are we going to offer higher education to all the children? In developed countries, the access to higher education varies from 50% to 80%. In Canada, it has gone beyond 80%, it's almost 90%. We are 9% now, less than 10%. So the government has to see that more and more universities and colleges are open. I hope. When I come next time, Coimbatore College, University, a university. At least you have better academic freedom. No doubt we want the project. Because I've seen both sides of the coin. I've been in the government part of the government, I've been in the private sector as well. If you give enough freedom, then there are people who misuse the freedom. So we require some control, some authorities. But too much control will bring delay. You mean delay brings corruption. We always talk about commercialization of education. It is true, it is being done. But commercialization does not go alone. Corruption and commercialization always go together. The government must understand that by allowing more and more institutions, ultimately the institutions, the best institutions, best performing institutions will survive, and those who do not perform housing colleges will be closed up. Even now the government is fixing the fees at 32,500, it is not accredited, or 40,000 rupees it is accredited per annum. There are many institutions now who offer 2 installments of the 32,000. And some people offer even concession among the 32,000, within 32,000, and yet they don't get paid. What is the price of steel? Who is going to control this? I appreciate the concern of the government in controlling the fees for the students because more and more middle class and lower class are paying the institutions. But who will control the price of cement? Who will control the price of steel? I did some homework as far as steel and cement is concerned because every day I require it. As far as cement is concerned, The world price is somewhere behind it. I can buy a bag of cement for rupees 70 in China and less than 100 in many parts of the world. But here, instead of 70 rupees, we have to pay 270 rupees. As far as steel is concerned, the international price is around 20 to 25,000 rupees. Now it has gone up to 50,000 rupees in India. What is it that the governments are doing to cut this price or to bring down this price so that it will be useful to the education institutions? Something has to be done. I just wanted to find out how these companies, including public sector companies, are behaving and how they are doing it. Now they have formed a corporate. I don't know, Dr. Mahatma knows much about it. He has been in the industry for the last half a century, but he is a different kind of investor. He is a Gandhian who never believes in abnormal profits. But what is happening today? Take for example, cement industry. I will give you 2-3 examples so that you must know how the world is moving and what is going to be our future. 6,467 means about 2 times. What about profit before tax? From 118 crores, they have reached 1,600 crores. That is nearly 13 times the profit has gone up. I give you one or two other loans. For example, our own state company, which is functioning in Tamil Nadu, India Cements. In 2003, their sales was 1,027 crores. In 2007, the sales went up to 2,600 crores. It's almost 4 lakh times. A loss of 200 crores in 2003. Now they are earning a profit of about 500 crores. Overcoming the 200 crore loss, now they have got 500 crores. There is one more company, Ultratech. I think it should be a model of the whole world. Their sales from 2003 to 2007 doubled. From 2006 they get 5,400. But the profit has gone up 20 times. From 58 crores, they gained 1,165 crores. Monica, the newly taken over correspondent of this classroom, Dr. Sundarkumar, Guiding Correspondent, Dr. Joseph Principal, professors, members of the faculty, distinguished parents, other invitees, my friends from press and media, very good morning to you. I think you have been circulated in speech prepared by me, so I need not go through the entire sentence and take a few points. But having invited me to be with you this day, even though we started the college the same year, I never had the opportunity to listen and also talk to the students and professors. It is my endeavor to call modern universities as the temples of modern India. Not only Dr. Harvard University is the temple of modern India, but also in the temple model. Everywhere I go, they look like temples. I wish to congratulate all the graduates who are assembled here, who are going to receive the degrees. I hope many of you, according to the report of the already in place, I would like to congratulate both the teachers and the students for the excellent placement record in overall college of technology. And also the management for having provided updated facilities and infrastructure in the institution. Before going into the subject, I would like to announce that in order to perpetuate my visit today, I would like to institute the gold medal for the best outgoing student every year, and it will be distributed for the competition in the name of Chancellor Brigade. Well, those who go to the universities and colleges are the best ones in our country, because many of our colleagues do not get this advantage. With all the 18,000 or 17,000 colleges and more than 360 universities, those who have access to higher education is restricted to only around 90% or less than 10%. That is why Government of India appointed a National Knowledge Commission, Dr. Stanley Program, who has recommended that 1,500 universities have to be opened. I don't know when we are going to do it, how we are going to do it, whether it will be done by the governments, state and city governments, or private sector is going to do it, or it's going to be a combination between the private and public sector. But there is a need, urgent need, for expansion of higher education. Fortunately, in engineering, we have gone too far. I remember when in 1984, when our late Government Engineer NGR allowed private institutions in Tamil Nadu, we had only 1,400 engineering seats in the year 1984. I think now we have crossed 1 lakh engineering seats in Tamil Nadu alone, which is almost equal to Europe. Throughout the country, we have about 500,000, more than 5 lakhs engineering seats. But the only thing is, all the institutions are not up to the mark. They are probably the controlling authorities, the state government, central government, KCT, all put together. They can help the institutions to come up on par with their own institutions. Because there are certain institutions, colleges, and universities that come together. Take for example medical education. Even though we have crossed 5 lakh engineering seats, as far as medical education is concerned, I think the available seats in India is only around 30,000. For 110 crores of people. Yesterday I saw a report that in Maharashtra, now they are going to have 4,500 medical seats. Yes, it has slowly gone up and we have reached 2,000 seats. In medicine, 1,200 to 2,000. Probably the cost of medical education in India is as costly as US or more costlier than any other country in the world. That is why you will find our youngsters going to China, Russia, Ukraine, Kyrgyzstan, all kinds of countries to study medicine. And when they return, they are not committed to practice. I think there is a need to open up education, higher education, medical education, all other education, so that then we become a constitution. We did not lag behind. Now what we say, there are many people who say that we are graduates, we are not blood, this is not the way our economy is going. It is something tremendous that the world is looking at us. It is not the same old India when we had the Hindu rate of growth, what they used to call themselves, used to call Hindu rate of growth, 3 to 4%. We have crossed 8%. The last 3 years, we have crossed 9%. Unfortunately, the last quarter, we have fallen to 39.5%. But with this kind of growth is happening, also the public sector also contributes to the private sector. Because as far as the private sector in India is concerned, it's not only one of